Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's big news story for April 8th is that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is guilty. And this is a headline we saw coming from a mile away. The question becomes, well, if this is a giant hoax, why did they wait until today to give us the verdict? And I have an answer for that. But let's just go through the headlines real quick. Here's what CNN's got for us. Guilty. One word headline. MSNBC, if I can get this thing out of the way. Also going with the guilty. Tsarnaev could face the death penalty for Boston bombing. The CNN headline also talked about potential death. We'll get more into that. Fox News, guilty. Jury now must decide death penalty for Boston Marathon bomber. BBC, Boston Marathon bomber found guilty. At least in the UK, they still talk to their audience in full sentences, you know? I guess that's the difference between the United States and the UK at this point. They're under the same propaganda, but they get talked to like they have a little bit more intelligence. It's nice, a full sentence. And then here in the alternate media, Huffington Post, they're going with the shot in the back story, which is just a complete hoax, and anybody with half a brain can see it. So, I mean, imagine the editors at Huffington Post. Do you think that they can't see that this video is a hoax? Some people think this is legit media. It is not. Here we got Al Jazeera. Oftentimes they say Al Jazeera is a terrorist news network. Well, look at what they got on their front page. They're even talking about the police officer hoax shooting in the United States. That's on their front page right now. Joke. Democracy Now!, hosted by Amy Goodman, a 33 name, funded by George Soros. Their top story right now is also the shooting hoax. I used to believe more in alternate media until all these shooting hoaxes picked up, and I noticed the alternate media was carrying them with complete sincerity. That was bothering me. So anyhow, guilty is a word with Pythagorean gematria of 31, like the foundational degree. And in this boy's case, he has a lot of gematria. We're going to get into it. Look right here how it says eligible for death penalty and makes the point about an 11.5-hour Boston Marathon bombing trial. That's how long they were in deliberation for. That ties in with the time of the bombing. We'll cover it all. So let's start with today's date. It is April 8th, 4-8. Other places you could write it as 8-4. 8-4 is also interesting, but 4-8 is a lot like the word hoax. The word hoax has a simple English gematria of 48, just like the word evil. I have friends that say, oh, Zach, there's no such thing as evil. But to me, the definition of evil at the very least is purposefully doing something that you know is wrong, to do something bad to somebody. To me, that's what evil is. And the people who run our media by that definition are evil. Because this is terrible to just lie to us every day and then code it with the same numbers all this time. What a joke. So anyway, they're bringing up the point about death penalty. Look at the numerology of today's date. 4-8-15 has a numerology of 27, a number highly associated with death. And another method I don't take as far, but does exist. If you grab a book on numerology, it will show you to calculate the numerology of a date this way as well. This way, it generates the gematria of 47, another number we're so used to seeing. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev has a direct tie to this number. And with the digit for digit method, it sums to 20. 20. So my favorite detail, though, is that it was in deliberation for 11 hours and 30 minutes. 11 hours, 30 minutes would look like this written. 11 hours, 30 minutes. On a countdown clock, it might show like this. So look at how they code 113 into it. When the bombing happened at the Boston Marathon on April 15, 2013, the the time of day was 2:49 local time. Another way to say that is 11 minutes till 3 or 11 until 3. Another way to code 113. a number that's coded into all their major hoaxes. Michael Brown's been maybe the biggest hoax since. That happened at the Cantfield Green Apartments, which has a Pythagorean gematria of 113. That story is entirely coded with 33. The finish line for the race that year was 666 Boylston Street. Before the race, it was noted that bomb-sniffing dogs were in the area, and over the microphones, they told people to relax. It was just part of a drill, part of a precaution. His older brother, initially the media reported he was arrested before they reported he was killed in a shootout. And the bombs themselves, you can go watch the video footage right now. You can see that they're gray poofs that go up in the air. And supposedly, all the people who were injured only had their legs injured. I mean, talk about hoax-alicious, nothing making sense. These are the patterns of all the hoaxes. They don't make sense. They look ridiculous. And the droned-out masses buy it up. They drink it all up. So let's check out his life number. This is Tsarnaev, the boy who's guilty today. He's born July 22nd, 1993. This date is super curious for all sorts of reasons. Those of you who watch my posts already know why. But the numerology of this date, digit for digit, is 33, the number of the hoax. If you sum it this way, 7 plus 22 plus 93, it sums to this number 122. And Truth Seeker, I have theories about this number, but I don't know what it means, honestly. But I do see it get coded a lot. I know this is a number of importance to this people. It also has a numerology of 5. 1 plus 2 plus 2 equals 5. He's born in the year 93, the number of Thelema. Think about 93 in relevance to the World Trade Centers. 93 World Trade Center bombing, flight 93 of 33 passengers. New York Times. The New York Times equals 93 in gematria. It's been replaced by One World Trade Center. One World Trade Center equals 93. The flip of that, 39, is a number of much importance in New York. In my posts, I mention these numbers much. And then the other thing is it's 722. Some places this would be written 227. When you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi. And pi represents circles, cycles, and these hoaxes are continuous circles and cycles to keep our lives like spinning records, so that we're operating on the annual clock, working, grinding, paying taxes, celebrating Christmas, planting Easter eggs, having a Thanksgiving turkey. Grind, 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 grind. That's what they've done to us. And they have us all checked out with one story like this after another. Everyone's all scared of the world, thinking evil people are out there, ready to get them. When in fact, it's mostly all just a bunch of fear-mongering and propaganda. And the longer we let it go on, the more people who are turned bad, such as my neighbor. If you haven't heard that story, I got 2 video posts on it. Anyhow, this also happened in Massachusetts, one of 3 states in the United States that has a gematria of 33. They are the first state, Delaware. Delaware's established December 7th, 1787. That's a date with 33 numerology, just like this date. 33 name, founded by Freemasons with the highest degree of 33. This one happened in Massachusetts, the 6th state. Notice that 33 is 3 plus 3 equals 6. Massachusetts is the 6th state. And then Hawaii, the 50th and final, also sums to 33. So much of this coding, Truth Seeker. USA breaks down to 311, the flip of this 113 number. Rhode Island was established on a date with 33 numerology. Rhode Island in Jewish gematria equals 311. We live in a Freemason creation. It's always been guided by lies, false history, false understanding. It's just that it's coming to light at this day and age because we finally have a window or an opportunity to put it all together. Now what we need to do is take this information and expose these people for who they are and flip the minds of the masses, because the day the minds of the masses are flipped is the day the people who are responsible for this will be held accountable. There just needs to be a big enough outcry. And that's why I do this. This is the only way to wake people up. I've had a few people write me and tell me that I've woken them up, or that they've shown my videos and that's woken somebody up. That's what we all need to be doing. Imagine if everybody on this planet woke up 2 more people. We'd be somewhere quick. So that's the message, Truth Seeker. Until next time. Encore, one last point. I forgot to do his name gematria, which is also of much importance. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev sums to 74. With the K exception, you can also get the numerology of 55. But 74 is the number of the martyr. Dzhokhar 46, Tsarnaev 28, put it together, 74, Pythagorean gematria. 74 is what Jesus sums to. It's what cross sums to. It's what Yeshua sums to. It's what Joshua sums to. Joshua is the English translation of Jesus. It said that Jesus was crucified at 33 on the cross. The only state with a gematria of 74 is Oregon, the 33rd state. His older brother, who died April 19th, another date of curiosity, his name also has very curious gematria. Look at the numbers, Truth Seeker. It's just one hoax after another with the same numbers recycled in new names, new dates. They've got us with the same trick over and over. This is embarrassing. We have to expose this, Truth Seeker. Cambridge also, where Harvard's at, is a 44 word. 44, Old Cambridge. All right, Truth Seeker. Till next.